Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Hope
Morning.
everyone's Christmas was good.
Yeah. Gosh, doesn't it go so quickly,
It really does.
the festive period?
To be honest, this whole year has gone super fast.
Yeah.
Really fast, just flown by.
Yeah. And that's good because I had an entire year of chemo and it went quite
Yes,
quickly.
that is good.
So
You must have been having fun.
always, you know
Yeah,
me. Super
always.
Trooper.
Super Trooper.
Yep. That leads us on to the episode, actually. Super Trooper.
Super Trooper. Is that the
The
name of the
episode.
episode?
What it's called, Superhuman.
Oh, Super Trooper human.
Yep. And I'm gonna get in there with the random blams because I have got a random blam that pertains to the episode. So random blam, go. Okay, while you quickly think of a random blam,
Well, I've thought of
I
one.
will. I'll have you.
I've got a festive random blam
Go on,
today.
give it to us.
So you are, I mean, it's not a cheerful one. You are 25% more likely to be burgled on New Year's Eve than any other night of the year.
Why?
25% more likely. Maybe they think everyone's pissed. Or people are out celebrating.
Or maybe because people are pissed that they're going, oh, that's a great. I've always wanted to burgle. Now my inhibitions are lowered. I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop me.
And I guess people have already got their Christmas presents and like brand new iPads or iPhones or things like
Perhaps.
that. And they're thinking everyone's house is going to be loaded. People are going to be loaded with alcohol.
Yeah.
So let's do it. But
Lock your doors, especially
lock
New
your
Year's
doors,
Eve.
people. Yeah.
Okay, so my random blam
Hmm.
is so the episode is about superhumans and their abilities and things like that. And my random blam is that Josie, my very own girlfriend, is a superhuman. She has got
Agreed.
these abilities, and I don't even think I've ever told you these, but she's got these abilities, and I don't know how to describe them. But here's what happens. So if you need to measure out 50 grams of butter, she can just scoop up 50 grams of butter. So one time we was making a cake and she just scooped up some butter and just threw it down into the measuring bowl. And like blam, she just threw it down. Bang on the correct amount.
She's a superhuman baker.
Superhuman. Also, she'd made herself some toast one time and she put it on a plate. And as she went to sit down, the toast slid forward. And I watched it in slow motion as it kind of flew to the air. And out of nowhere, she just pincered it with her two fingers, wham, and caught it.
And then
like an absolute ninja. Random blams, done.
Random blams, done. So everyone knows Sarah's puppy, my puppy, who's not actually technically a puppy, but her name is Puppy, will be having a sleepover soon. So watch out for those photos.
Matching pajama photos.
Yes, mate.
Yep. So for those who don't have social media, I got a puppy.
Yeah, you did.
And if there's no other reason to follow us on social media, then just do it for pup dates. Because I'm calling the section Puplexed.
Yeah.
Puplexed. And you can see our little story of Caesar, our little golden retriever puppy.
My world revolves around dogs as well. So Puplexed, if anyone wants to send us pictures of their pups,
absolutely.
Definitely want to see those.
We can feature them on the Perplexed section. He's just the bestest, goodest boy
he is
ever.
He's so cute.
He's just so cute. He's just the bestest good. I just want to eat his face.
I know. That's what I like when I look at Puppy. I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm going to explode.
I just want to smush put his face in my mouth.
I know. I just want to punch her face in. I love her so much.
Squeeze her to death. I love her so much. Yeah. We
Oh,
don't do that to our animals. Please don't report us.
no, we don't, of course.
So in today's episode,
Hmm.
I wanted it to be different from the last two, because the last
Oh
two
my goodness, yes,
were,
please.
I know that they were hard. They were hard to research. They were hard to edit for you. And we needed a small little break to step outside the horrific things that go on in the world.
Yeah.
And so I wanted this to be a bit more, excuse me, a bit more of a light-hearted story. So today I'm going to tell you about the different superhumans that exist, because some of these really perplexed me. So the first superhuman that I'm going to tell you about is Tim Cridland. So Tim was born in 1963 in Washington, California, and although his name is Tim Cridland, he's actually known as Zamora the Torture King.
Oh God.
I know. If you're going to pick a stage name for yourself, Zamora the Torture King.
The Torture King.
Yes.
I mean, that doesn't sound like anything good superhuman.
Well, he's best known for his ability to feel absolutely no pain.
Oh. Ah, okay.
So the torturer is kind of ascertains to himself his own body.
That is fine.
So from a young age, Tim was fascinated with like magic tricks and illusions and things like that. And he said that while he was in elementary school, he found a book in the school library about sideshows and unusual acts. And he found these like ones, I think they are called like torture acts or something.
Ooh.
And he became fascinated with it. And he began experimenting with his own body. And you know, like what you used to do at school when you'd put like a little pin through the tiny layer of skin at the end of your finger, just like weave it through.
And it'd be sticking through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like that. That's what he started doing as a younger age, and inserting these little pins into the skin of his forearm. You know, the skin of your forearm and the skin of your bicep is incredibly stretchy, isn't it? So just putting it through the skin. And he learned that by doing this, these sort of tricks and things like that, he got quite a lot of attention from his school peers. And then he began performing this as an act. And then as an adult, he then began performing in a circus. But he was no longer just inserting little tiny pin needles into his forearm and the ends of his fingers. Tim is best known for his, I can't even describe it, shock horror performances.
Oh goodness.
And like making people cringe and making people feel sick, and people have passed out at his performances before.
Not about that. I wouldn't go and see that.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you about some of his performances. So he would walk barefoot on razor blades.
Ugh.
He would lay down on a bed of nails and then put like a ramp across his body and have a motorcycle go up.
Oh my god.
Drive up over as if being driven over by a motorcycle isn't hard enough. He's also on a bed of nails. And when he gets up, you can see it's like really nailed into his back.
How did it not impale him? Jeez.
I don't know. But he also is best known for putting meat skewers through different parts of his body. And I don't just mean through the skin. He would pierce himself with these meat skewers through his muscles. So like really deep tissue penetrating injuries. So he would put the skewers through his forearms, like the big chunky muscle at the bottom of your forearm, all the way through. And he would put the skewer through his bicep. Like actually, you see him tensing his bicep, and he's just pokes it all the way through, and it's quite tough, like to get through. And he would push these skewers as well, open his mouth wide open, and put the skewers through the bottom, underneath his tongue, through the bottom, and out through the bottom of his jaw.
Nope.
Just be walking about with these skewers. Yeah, but I actually, when I had my when I went in for my surgery, just before I had my surgery, I had to have skewers inserted into my boob to mark the beginning of the tumour and the end of the tumour.
Oh my
And
God.
for anybody that's had a mammogram before, when you go in and have your boob squished, it was in the mammogram machine that while the boob was squished, they then shot these skewers straight in. I was anaesthetized, like it was numb, so I didn't feel it. But yeah, I had 2 in. And then when I came away, I just had these big flappy wires just hanging out of my boob.
And you were like, can I keep these?
Sames, I know what he's gone through.
Blimey.
But yeah, so he'd put these skewers through the bottom of his drawer as well. And I know that, I don't know about you, but I've seen people like Darren Brown does it where he eats glass and he walks on broken glass and things like that. So there is a trick to doing it. But this guy doesn't just walk on broken glass, like they're broken bottles, and you can see how sharp they are and they're sticking up. And he doesn't walk like really carefully
gently,
or gently. He just stomps his way across, and then in the middle of it does a big old jump. Just in the air, jumps straight back down, lands on all of these broken glass.
Goodness me. Can I just say on behalf of Perplexed Podcasts, don't try this at home. Please.
Please don't try this at home. But it's not that he's not getting injured, because he's covered, absolutely covered in scars, and he's often bleeding.
I was going to say, is he like pouring of blood after jumping on broken bottles?
When he's putting the skewer through his bicep, he has to stop, go and get a cloth because the blood's dripping down the skewer, and he can't. It's too slippery now to hold it and grip it to push it through. So it's not that he's not getting injured; he's just not feeling the pain. And like when he's walking about the stage, showing people what he's doing, he's just not bothered about it.
That's mad, isn't it? He just can't feel it at all.
Can't feel it at all. And he says that he can feel pressure, but no pain at all. And he gets people to pull it out. He's pushing it in, and you can see as it goes in, you can see it like poking out the other side of his bicep and things. So you can it's not a hoax, like it's actually going into his bicep and out the other side. And he himself doesn't really know how he does it. He just does it, and he doesn't feel any pain. He doesn't know why he doesn't feel any pain. And neuroscientists can't really explain why he's able to do it either. But they kind of suspect that over the years he's built up this tolerance of pain. But some believe that actually his body does feel the pain, but he's able to. So pain signals get sent from where the pain is to your brain, and then that's then when you react. So they believe that he's able to turn off that part of his brain so that they don't receive the signals. So basically he can just feel the pain but ignore it. Which,
I mean, I do believe that is possible, because I've heard of people that are able to just kind of almost like a meditation thing, where they sort of zone out and they put these feelings to one side, and it enables them to power through something. But I mean,
that's mental though, isn't it?
as anything,
because like when you hear stories of people that have got their leg trapped in a machine or it's been ripped off or something, they often say, I didn't feel any pain, didn't feel it, and it's only afterwards. But if you paper cut yourself, Jesus Christ, that hurts
like a bitch.
Straight away, doesn't it?
It's so weird, isn't it? It's like your brain is able to send signals in different like directions and be like, no, this is what's important now, don't think about that, or we're not going to concentrate, or we're not going to acknowledge it.
Don't bother her.
She's got a paper cut.
She's going through enough.
All signals on the paper cut. You're like, oh
yeah. It's like a scene from Inside Out where you've got all the people pressing the control panel buttons. But yeah, so it's absolutely baffling. But Tim currently holds the world record for the most amount of pins in his body. The number being 106. So he inserted 106 pins into his body to get this world record. And he says, I could have done twice as many, but I didn't really do it for the record. It was just an excuse to do something fun on TV.
Well, I don't know about something fun.
Well, he loved it.
He loved it. Yeah, it was fun for him.
Yep, really loved it. So the next superhuman that we are going to talk about is a gentleman that was born in Serbia called Slavica. And Slavica is known as the Battery Man.
Oh.
And he's best known for his unique ability to withstand extremely high voltage electrical currents. And he said that he found that he had this unique ability at the age of 17 when he was at work, and he accidentally pulled a live wire from the ground.
Oh my goodness.
And felt nothing. So he started then experimenting with this newfound ability that he had, and he found that it wasn't just that electricity didn't shock him, that he could kind of touch electricity and he didn't get electrocuted, but that his body held high amounts of electrical currents.
Oh.
So he started performing sideshow acts, and he would put a light bulb in his mouth and it would light up. And he would cook a sausage, just holding 2 forks. So to conduct the electricity, there's like a a wiener, like a hot dog type thing.
Wiener.
A Frankenfurter or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Between 2 forks, and they would just hold on to it and the sausage would cook.
That's mad.
Absolutely mad.
That is absolutely shocking.
It's so shocking.
Did you like what I did there?
Yeah, I loved it.
Thanks.
In 2006, he performed on France's Got Talent, and I think he was on something like like the world, not the world's Got Talent, but like global talent or something like that. And he showcased some of these acts, and he put an egg into some water, holds these 2 metal rods in his hand and then into the water, and you can see it starting to slowly bubble, and he holds it there for a little while, and he gets the judges to take out the egg, they crack it, and it's like partly cooked.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, and he does this act as well with the sausages, where he cooks the sausages, and he gets the judge to take a bite of the sausage, and he takes a bite and he's like, oh, that's so hot, because it'd been freshly cooked.
It's ridiculous.
And he has an act where he like the electrical current machines that you see in the science museums,
where
they've got like a ring around the top, and they're like static machines.
Yes.
You put your hair near it and your hair goes up. So he's got one of those, but it's like electricity that comes out. He puts his hand near this machine, and the electrical currents like zap to his fingers, and you can see them like hitting his fingers. And he then, while he's doing that, he gets one of the judges to soak a piece of cotton wool in lighter fluid, and then touches the cotton wool to his arm, and it just immediately ignites.
That's crazy.
Just catches flame. And then he does it on the top of his head, gets this lighter fuel-soaked cotton wool, puts it on the top of his head, and it just bursts into flame because he's got so much electricity coming out of him.
That's mad. I wonder how it is when like he touches people. Like,
well,
it
says
that he gives someone a cuddle.
Yeah, he says that people don't want to shake his hand.
I'm not surprised. Yeah,
I know.
Also,
the electric shock.
Just one quick correction. I know you said about the sausage, the wiener.
Yes.
And you said it, like a wiener, like a Frankenfurter. It's Frankfurter. Frankenfurter is the guy from Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror, yeah. I thought so as soon as I said it.
I just wanted. No, it's fine. It's fine. It gave me a giggle. I just wanted to correct you before, like, every single one of our listeners does.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. I am very, very aware that my wording choices aren't always correct.
Well, I
tried my best.
Yeah, like a Frankenfurter in between 2 forks.
Yeah. Just a sweet transvestite.
That's the one.
Yeah, I love Rocky Horror, so that's
Me
that's
too.
probably why that came out.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he actually holds 2 Guinness World Records. And the first one is for withstanding 20,000 volts. So just standing there and taking 20,000 volts. And the second one is for being the quickest to heat up a cup of water to 97 degrees. And it took him 1 minute, 37 seconds.
What? That's quicker than a kettle.
I know.
That's amazing. I could do with him at work.
Can you imagine in this energy crisis that we've got going on? He's
No.
absolutely living it.
That'd be so cool to be able
He's
to
like,
just be like, oh, can I just warm up your drink there?
yeah. And he's like, energy prices getting you down? Or not for me. How much do you pay on your electric?
Rent me for a day.
Yeah.
Buy me.
I think I would actually. Tumble dry me clothes.
Yeah. I wouldn't shake his hand though.
No. But he actually says that his family like having him around because when there's a sudden power failure, he says, this is a quote, and it says, when there is a sudden power failure, my folks do not have to worry. My house is always shining. I can be an insulator, conductor, accumulator, and heater.
Wow.
What a lad.
What a useful human being.
What a lad.
That is so
and
cool.
he's got the 2 Guinness World Records, and he says that he wants to set a 3rd Guinness World Record by charging on a 1,000,000-volt power generator and shooting lasers from his fingers.
Well, it doesn't sound healthy.
He says, this is what he said, I will try to charge on it and become a wireless laser man.
Laser man.
So cool.
Flame boy.
Flame boy.
Oh, goodness.
Become a wireless laser man.
Oh, he's going to blow himself up at some point though, isn't he? If he keeps pushing the boundaries.
Is it Uncle Vesta that does that? And he gets electrocuted and he's like got smoke coming out the top of his head.
I don't remember.
From the Addams Family.
Uncle Fester.
Yeah.
I don't remember. He hasn't got any hair.
Well, neither has Slavisa. And it says that no one knows why he's able to withstand such electrifying volts. And it says that the only semblance of harm that he has is a few charred fingernails and the loss of his hair. So he's got no eyebrows. He's got no hair at all. And one theory is that he doesn't have any sweat glands, which is true. He actually doesn't. He's got a condition where he doesn't have any sweat glands. But scientists have said that actually him not having sweat glands makes him a good conductor of electricity.
Huh.
Don't know why.
Just superhuman, I guess.
Superhuman indeed. So the next superhuman that we are going to talk about is a lady in Indonesia. Now, I could try and pronounce her name, but I will get it very wrong.
Is it Frankenweenie or?
No.
Okay.
So we're going to call her Nors.
Nors.
Since 1991, she's had this really, honestly, absolutely baffling and painful, unexplainable occurrence. Her body produces wire-like material from her pores.
Wire?
Wire.
Oh.
So on her chest and her belly, mainly, thin wires grow out of her. I don't know where from. They grow out of her. And then when they get too long, they just snap and fall off. And then they just regrow. And they're not like little pin-sized needles. The wires could sometimes reach 20 to 40 centimeters long.
20 to 40. That's well long.
I know.
And what are they made of? Like,
they're made of wire. So
what?
Yeah. So her tummy is absolutely riddled with like scars and open sores and scabs, and where previous wires have kind of grown and fallen out. And also there are still a lot of wires that are growing out.
Yeah.
And when examined by a doctor, they have got absolutely no idea what it is, and they haven't been able to provide a clear analysis of her condition. So they took an X-ray of her stomach, and it said the X-ray showed 40 wires inside of her. So there were 40 wires inside her stomach that were kind of, some were half out, some were on their way out, and they've got no idea why. But they said despite them being metallic in nature, the wires have never caused her any issues inside her body. So she's never had tetanus or anything like that from these wires that grow within her and then out of her.
Are they coming from her stomach?
It just says that they had an X-ray and there was some in her stomach, 40 in her stomach. But I can't imagine them being in her stomach. What I think is that they're in her abdomen.
Right.
And that they're growing out. What doctor said is that they believe the wires were mobile and that they can then change location. So they don't always grow out of the same area. And she herself said that when she tries to trim the wires, if they get too long, she tries to trim them, they pop back in.
Oh.
Yeah, they like retreat inside of her.
Oh, they're like alien worms.
Like a living organism. Yeah.
Oh.
And she said that she has shed over 1,000 wires since it began. And she's actually kept a lot of them to show people.
Goodness.
And they're like not like thin straight wires. They're kind of a little bit like twisted, or some are kinked, and some are a little bit bent over and things.
So is it possible that she's like eaten them and they're just working their way out through like her stomach or something?
I don't think so. If you look at a picture of it,
Yeah.
I don't think so. They're just shooting out all over the place.
Goodness me.
So I don't think it's that she's, because if they did do that, they would have to make their way from her stomach or her intestines or bowels out. So they would do a lot of damage.
Right.
So I think that they must grow in the layers of the skin, like the epidermis or the dermis or something like that. They must grow in the layers of the skin and then come out like a hair, but actually they're probably made of keratin or something like that. I don't think they're actually made of metal, but my scientific analysis.
That's crazy. I can't work out how that happens.
No. Oh, if you look at the picture, you'll be absolutely baffled.
Can you send me a picture of it? Have you got a picture of it?
Yeah, I'll send you a picture right now. Right, you just have a little look at them.
Oh my goodness.
And you try and explain to me what has occurred.
What? They look like big tufts of hair.
Yeah, but they're thicker than hair, aren't they?
Yeah, very, very much. Oh.
Yeah, so despite how crazy the story is, there actually isn't much information on it. You think this lady would have been like extensively searched or researched and to find out what on earth is going on with her. But I suppose it's like, do you ever watch them programs that were like Extraordinary People, when you had like the tree man that used to grow and people didn't really know what that was? I think it's something like that. It's like an excessive form of keratin growth.
God, that's crazy. Do you have the wires that are growing out and been taken out? Do you know if they've been tested?
No, I don't know. There's no information at all. It just says that they're metallic in nature.
Right. Oh, that's crazy.
So
very perplexing.
Very, very indeed. So the next superhuman that I'm going to discuss, I actually researched this lady a little while ago because I wanted to do a story on it, but there really isn't that much information, so it fitted in perfectly into this story. And her name is Natasha Demkina, and she's the girl with X-ray eyes.
Oh.
So she was born in 1987 in Russia, and Natasha claims to be able to see inside the human body, where she can see all of the organs and the tissues, and then is therefore able to diagnose medical conditions.
Oh,
and
handy.
I know. Her mum said that up until the age of 10, she was just a normal child. But it was at the age of 10 that her unique ability kind of manifested. And she came up to her mum one day and she was like, oh, I can see inside. And she was sort of went into detail about what she could see and just describing in detail all of her organs and stuff. And then Natasha's mum said that she's always kind of been like a forward child, and she started talking at 6 months old, and she had a fantastic memory and could recite things from a very early age. And she took Natasha to the hospital to find out, to kind of be like, my daughter's saying this. Can you
saying some strange stuff?
Can you help, please?
Yeah.
And word of Natasha's abilities began to spread, and she started appearing on local television shows. And then at the children's hospital, she was asked to perform different tasks. And then these tasks kind of were to gauge whether her abilities were real or not. So they'll have like tests. And she was reported to have drawn a picture of what she saw inside one of the doctor's stomachs. And she marked correctly the place where he had an ulcer.
Oh.
And she also stated that a cancer patient, so an elderly lady that had been diagnosed with cancer, she said to the doctors, I can't see cancer. I can see a small cyst, but I can't see cancer. And then when the doctors retested, they did in fact find that it wasn't cancer, that it was just a small cyst.
Wow.
And word of her abilities made its way kind of all around the world. And especially in the UK, and she was brought over, I think by the Daily Mail or something like that. And she was brought over to do different sort of TV interviews. And she appeared in a Discovery Channel documentary, and she appeared on This Morning. And in the Discovery Channel documentary, they said that Natasha was able to identify all of the fractures and metal pins in a woman who had recently been a victim of a car crash.
Goodness.
Because she could see inside the woman, she was able to see where everything was. And she was given 6 medical charts and asked to match them with 7 different people. So they had like one person who was the control person, and then 6 people with different medical issues. And Natasha was asked to basically give out the correct
diagnosis for each
medical charts back to these people. And she got 4 correct out of the 6 charts. Natasha was all around the, well, I said she went on This Morning, and then while she was on This Morning, she commented on the fact that the TV presenter had a bad ankle, which she did have. But she took these abilities all around the world with her. And she was in Japan, and while she was in Japan, it was said that she was able to identify a prosthetic knee in one person, and she pointed to asymmetrical internal organs in another, and she was able to identify early stage pregnancy in different patients in a Tokyo hospital.
Blimey. Can you imagine if they didn't know? And she just went in and was like, you know, it looks like you're about 6 weeks pregnant or 6 months
and they're
pregnant,
like, no,
or
I'm
something.
not.
And they're like, what? And their parents are like, what? Embarrassing.
But yeah, so Natasha's actually really eager to go anywhere to kind of demonstrate her abilities. She's never shied away from TV interviews or doing these tests or anything like that. And she said she wants to be a help to science and humanity, and she wants to kind of help people. And she's actually, in 2005, she opened up her own sort of diagnostic center in Moscow, and she charges $13 for every medical reading that she performs. Can you imagine going to the doctors now and being like, oh, my tummy hurts, and they're like, let me just put my glasses on.
Let me just look.
So Natasha's case isn't as unique as it turns out, and people with divine vision, is what they're calling it, have been documented throughout history. And there's a famous Chinese doctor from the 5th century who is supposed to have had divine vision, and his name is Bian Q. And he was supposed to be like
Hang on. Did you just say B and Q?
I did say. I didn't say that. Yeah,
you can do it when you B and Q it. Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant.
That's so funny.
His name is Bian Q. Oh, God, taking the piss.
That's so funny. But anyway, so he was a famous Chinese doctor, and he was supposed to have had this divine vision. So he's a very well documented case as well. So the next superhuman that we're going to talk about is Magneto Man.
Shut the front door.
Magneto
Man. That is an
Absolutely.
actual, like, superhero.
I know. Well, he is an actual superhero.
Oh.
Well, he doesn't particularly save lives. He just sticks metal to him. So born in Malaysia in 1930, Louis, he didn't realise that he had these superpowers until he was in his 60s, when he was at work and his work tools started sticking to him.
I mean, that'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, where's my hammer gone? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, you're like, all right, Fred. You're like, yeah, fine. Just peeling this stapler off my face.
But once he'd found that he had these kind of powers, this magnetic ability, he started showcasing them at different charity events. So he would start off small with different silverware, and he would cover his body in like knives and forks and spoons, and like his entire body just stick all of these cutlery to himself. But as he gained popularity, he started experimenting with like different items and what would stick to him. So he would put hammers, saws, irons, like a big old
Oh my goodness.
metal iron,
Yeah.
and then a metal plate, and he would stick this metal plate to his belly, like he would magnetically stick it to his belly, and then he would dangle things from this metal plate. So like, and it was kind of to demonstrate how magnetic it was. So it was so stuck onto him that he could dangle things from this metal plate. He once pulled a 1.5-ton vehicle by this metallic plate. So this metallic plate, it's almost like a square or like a diamond shape, and then at the sides it's got like rope attached to it, so then he can attach things to that rope. Right. So he attached this 1.5-ton vehicle to this plate and then pulled it, and it didn't, the magnet didn't, like the magnetic bond didn't break or anything. And he would like dangle different things on it, like a really heavy suitcase and things like that.
The Eiffel Tower and
yeah, absolutely. Can you imagine trying to go up the stairs, tripping and falling and just being stuck?
Yeah. Falling on metal stairs and going, oh no.
Oh god. Bring the spoons, it's gonna be a while. He would also put like on this iron, he'd stick this iron to his chest, and then he would put like bricks on top of the iron just to show that force and how strong that force was. And doctors were absolutely baffled. There was a YouTube video of him going to the doctors, and they assumed it was some sort of magnetism, like he was magnetic. So they run like a probe over his body that would show the magnetic reading, but there wasn't any magnetic reading at all on this probe. So then they thought, oh, maybe he's just got incredibly sticky skin. So then they tested his skin to see if it was sticky, but it wasn't. It was just normal skin. So scientists are absolutely baffled by his magnetic ability. They've got no idea how it is. He's an absolute phenomenon.
Crazy.
The next superhuman we are going to discuss is Joy Milne. And Joy Milne is the woman that can smell Parkinson's disease.
Oh.
So she's a 72-year-old retired nurse from Perth in Scotland, and she discovered that she had the ability to smell Parkinson's disease when she recognised that her husband's scent had changed. So she was actually diagnosed with like hypersensitivity smell. It's called something. So she's always had really good smell, but she noticed that her husband's scent had changed. She was like, "Oh, you smell a bit musky." So many years later, her husband was actually diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and so she related the change in his smell to that. In 2012, at a university in Edinburgh, scientists wanted to test Joy's these so-called skills that she had, and they had her smell 12 t-shirts, 6 from people with Parkinson's and 6 from people without Parkinson's, and she correctly identified all 6 cases of people that had like whose t-shirt belonged to who.
Yeah.
She identified them all correctly, but she did pull out one t-shirt from one of the non-affected people of Parkinson's, and she said that this person's got Parkinson's, and a year later he was actually diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Oh no, so she
So
actually got it earlier
before,
than he did.
absolutely.
Well, not got it, but yeah.
And she's actually been doing some really, really great work, and she's been working with scientists to narrow down this, like, the molecules associated with Parkinson's, and they've been able to create this swab test for diagnosis.
Oh wow.
So actually, currently, as it stands, there is no formal way to diagnose Parkinson's. There's no tests for it. It is just based on symptoms, how symptomatic you are, and then you're diagnosed that way. But they're able to do this swab test, and they basically swab the back of somebody's neck, and it will say whether they've got early stages of Parkinson's or something.
Wow.
And it's being trialed and tested at the moment, and it could well be on its way to the NHS, which is
that's
fantastic.
amazing. Yeah, what an
It's
amazing
great.
achievement to be
I
able to be
know.
part of that.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. Honestly, just you think you've got superhuman smell, smell
Yeah.
Parkinson's, but dogs can as well, can't they?
I was just about to say, dogs can smell illness,
Yeah.
and they can sense or smell when someone's going to have a seizure or.
Yeah.
Yeah, dogs are amazing.
And that's just because they've got a heightened sense of smell, and I guess she's got that as well. So
did you
she
know
goes around sniffing butts?
Dogs can smell smell a cadaver, like a body,
Yeah.
through 8 feet of concrete.
Wow.
I heard.
Me.
That's crazy, isn't it? 8 feet of concrete, and a dog can smell a cadaver through it.
That's grim.
Incredible.
Absolutely grim.
But
that's it. So for our superhuman story today, that is all of the superhumans that we've got. There are plenty more out there that I just couldn't include in today's episode. So perhaps we'll do another superhuman part 2. But the fact that there's so many people in the world that have got these unique abilities just goes to show how amazing the human body is and how amazing the brain is.
Yeah.
And it's mind-boggling, because my brain can't even pick out the correct bloody word when I want it to.
No, your brain just screams Frankenfurter.
Frankenfurter.
And B&Q.
Yeah.
No, that's so interesting, isn't it? And it always makes me think, I wonder if my brain is going to be able to develop something at any point in my life where I'm like, actually, I've now got the ability to work things out really quickly. Or
well, we did an episode on the savant syndrome, didn't we? And that is from head trauma, and they've now gained newfound abilities. They're extraordinary, like fantastic memory, or the ability to compose music, or draw landscapes and stuff. So
yeah,
but these people
go and smash my own head in, shall I?
Yeah,
that's amazing. It's the human brain, I think, is just so interesting.
Some people's, not mine.
No, I mean mine either, but I wish it was. I live it. It gives me hope that one day something might happen and something might click in my brain and make me able to do something ingenious. But it hasn't happened yet.
No. Maybe. But that's it for today's episode.
Thank you. I enjoyed that greatly.
Good. I'm pleased. I just wanted it to be a little bit more light-hearted than the last 2.
Yeah, it definitely was. It gave me a giggle. Much needed giggle.
Good.
Not at anyone's expense, but maybe yours a little bit.
I will see you then on the next one.
See you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
If you have enjoyed listening to our episodes, make sure you rate us and leave us a review on whatever platform you are listening.
We absolutely love hearing from you guys. So you can also help support our show by donating to our Buy Me a Coffee link. We will make sure that you get a massive shout out and a big thank you in our next week's episode.
You can also follow us on social media at Perplexed Podcasts. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and if you want to see more videos and blooper reels, subscribe to our TikTok and YouTube channels.
You can also email us your stories at perplexedpodcasts@gmail.com.
And you can find all the relevant links in the episode descriptions. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. Serving plates and gravy boats.
Yes, absolutely.
I'd
Fork,
definitely do that.
madame.
Yes. Oh, 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 when does that ever happen? Fork.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Oh, I've got tears.
oh.
Oh dear.
Goodness.
Anyways.